Good morning, welcome to Life of Dave. It's Sunday morning, we're back down the boat. See if I can do a little bit down here today. Usual Sunday, not down here to do much, but just have a look and finish a couple of bits, tidy up and whatnot. Last time down, we got the inside of this locker all gel coated. So I just want to check this over and make sure it's all alright and that it's all cured and we didn't get any sticky bits left over. Yeah, it's all good. So the only thing I did get, and I spotted it before I left, was a run. I don't know if you can focus on that because the white doesn't pick up very well because I'm just zooming in on white. It just goes blurry. Anyway, so in the back here, just there, is a big old run. You see, really hard to see because of the light. Doesn't show up very well. But trust me, it's there. There is a big old run in the back of the cupboard. Rather annoyingly, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah. It curtained just in that one spot. All the rest of it absolutely fine. Right in the most visible spot. Big old run. But hey ho. We could probably flat that out a little bit. Get rid of it. But it's not the end of the world. Other than that, yeah, beautiful. Come out well. I've still got to shave off a little bit off the bottom of that, which I'm going to do whilst we're here. And I've got to dress this one as well. So knowing that gel coat's gone off nicely, this one should be fine. I can feel into the corners now. Yeah, you can feel it's all gel coated. So I've got this little rough bit at the front here. Because I put the CSM in there, what happened is a couple of little strands went up here, stuck out, and I couldn't get them to sit flat, which I knew was going to dry sticking up, so, but it's not an issue. I just don't want anything you're going to catch your hands on, so I'll just nib that down. But that's not terrible. Glass right into that corner wasn't the greatest, but it's on there. It's only got to give it a little bit of support inside. I'm going to glass it around the outside anyway. I knew that was going to be problematic, trying to glass in that tiny little hole where I can't fit my hand. I can't see, and once I put my hand in there I can't see a damn thing. So these have all set up nicely, so I need to sand these off, trim that down, sand it round. That's my flat area for the hinges, and they're nicely stuck on, so it ain't coming off, which is perfect. So all in all, not too bad. It's come out quite well. Like I say, one little run there and a couple of little bits of glass that just need nibbing off there. And yeah, no, I'm quite pleased with the result. I need to sand this down, screw some hinges onto the hatch cover, try that in the hole, and just fill up the edges, make it all nice and neat and smooth and whatnot. And that one's done. Then we can just get the outside glassed in, but like I say, that's not a job for today. I'm not going to worry about glassing today. It takes too long. I haven't got the time on a Sunday morning. Like I say, about an hour or so just to come down, tidy up, a little bit of sanding, dress this up, dress them up, try that in there, and see what that all fits like. If I've got a bit of time afterwards, I might see if I can sand this down, try and move forward with that. Then what I want to do is sand this side down. I want to finish one side, so this side is all done, and this side of the roof or the underside of the deck is all done as well. So I can say I've done that whole side. You know, then I can move round to the front, across to the other side, and start on this side. But yeah, that's the plan. Get one side completely finished and go from there. Right, enough waffling, let's crack on. Right, so I've got the old oscillating cutter out. We're going to trim that off and then sand it to shape. Mask on. I'm cutting into the glass. And on the upside, I found my new gloves. So these can go in the bin. They have had it, haven't they? I've got my use out of them. So, got some of these at home. I was thinking, oh, I wonder if they'd fit in there. But unfortunately, because of the shape of the locker, it don't quite fit. It goes in the hole, but that'll hit the door. It sits out the top. The only thing I could do, because of the sides, the shape of the side in the locker, it would have to go in that way. So it fits in that way. But I'd have to store stuff that could go in upside down because of the shape of the locker. It's the wrong shape to go in that way. Never mind. Well, there you go. So I might be able to find some little things that can go in there, some little storage things that will fit in there. We'll see. Right, for now, let's get this taken care of. I'm going quite cautiously now, because what I don't want to do is cut into that and go into my locker. So I've left it sticking out quite a bit, and I'll take that down with a sander. Yeah, so what it's done is, as that's dried, it's peeled away underneath and left that sitting down straight, which has left a gap behind it, which is what I didn't want. I needed to build up the radius on this bit. So as I said, when I put this on, it's going to need more. I knew that it would need a bit more build up there. I've got more on the front than I needed. It needed to be more underneath. Just here, that's where I needed the build up, and unfortunately it's come away and dried straight down. Yeah, better, but it's not perfect, so it'll need a bit more work. Effectively, what I don't want there to be is like a void underneath that edge where the glass is sticking out. There'll be a gap behind it, so I've taken that right back until the glass is against the work. Yeah, I need to be just finished by hand, and I need to see how my hinges will sit. Right, we've taken off the worst, so now what we need to do is try the hatch in there, see how it all sits, see what the hinges look like in there, and then I can sort of make adjustments and see where I need to build it up. So first off, what I need to do is remove these hinges. Get this hatch cover off, take these hinges off because I need them for the other locker. Right, hopefully you can see what I'm up to, but don't need to see my pretty face all the time. Yeah, I know you miss me. I don't think I've got any spare hinges, so what I was thinking of was altering these ones, grinding the corners off and whatnot, but that will depend on rather a lot. Right, that's number one. Put that in number one locker. That's number two. Back in number two locker. And this one's number three. So now I've got to drill the holes for this one to make that fit. Righto. What we've got to do is try this in the hole, see how it sits, and make some adjustments. Right, so it's quite even around there, I can see. I've got a little gap along the top, could be better. I've got a reasonable gap along the bottom, except for where the hinges have been glassed up, so that's obviously filled that gap. I need to flat this off in here with a block to take that down. So it's touching there and there, which is expected. This side, probably too big of a gap, and it's quite rough. Quite a rough finish. So this side's sitting okay. This side's quite rough around here, so that needs building out a wee bit and tidying up. I think what we need to do is, if I drill the hinges so that it's fixed in that position, So at the moment I've got quite a tight gap there, and at the bottom, so it's not moving around. I've got an even gap each side. So it's sitting quite nicely in the hole. So if I was to drill it there and fit the hinges, I know that this will always sit where it is now. Then I can remove, basically, the hinges will hold it in place there. Then I can remove a little bit along the bottom of the cover, giving me the gap around the bottom, a little bit off the top, giving me the gap around the top, and I know that the hatch is still fixed in the same place as where the hinges are holding it. So then I'm just adjusting the gap. If I make the corrections now, then what I've got to do is I've got to position this in the hole to get the hinges to fit, which is really awkward. What'll happen is it'll do that, you know, not that much, tiny amount, and I'll drill the hole in the wrong place. At the moment, it's held in place, it can't go anywhere. So all I've got to do is fit the hinges, stick it in, drill them into there, and then adjust the gap. So that's my plan, that's where we're going. Right, I think everyone understands that. Hope you do, because, yeah, that's the only way I can explain it. Right, let's go get a drill and get that sorted. Right, so I've got to set up these hinges, same as I've done with the last ones. Right, so I can see where the old holes were. So I know where I want the hinge. Drill one hole straight through, fit a screw, and then check the other one. None of these snap-on tools down here. Halfway on the barrel, but it makes it look wonky. Let's try it in the hole, see how we look. Marking the hole really. I'm not going to drill the bottom holes yet because I've still got to put more glass on there. The holes through the bottom into the boat I'm not going to do just yet. I still need to put a bit more glass on. So if I drill the holes, I'll be effectively glassing over holes, which, you know, makes for voids. And I'm going to drill through anyway. What you'll get is around the hole, it won't seal down properly. You'll get a indiscrepancy that will make the glass not stick as well. See, I'm drilling through here. My leg's not directly under that bit of wood, and I'm not going to drill through the wood anyway, hence I'm drilling very carefully. I'm more than aware that my leg is there. Pop that in, see how we're sitting. I mean, I can always, you know, wring out the hole a tiny amount with a drill if I need to, and adjust the hatch slightly on the bolts when I bolt it up. You know, I can give it some adjustment. Not a major issue. I'd rather it be as good as I can get it. Right, so we've got one hinge on. I need the next one. I think the problem with lining them up just straight with the centre of the barrel is this isn't square. You know, this isn't a square hatch. This isn't straight. It's got a slight curve to it. You know, So I don't think, you know, I've gone for the flattest part, but well, I mean, I cut this out, so it's never going to be perfect. It is what it is. So I can see the old holes there. Lined up with the old holes, the barrel sits below, completely below the part. I don't want it there. So, like I say, it's got to be visually correct, not necessarily mathematically correct. So I'm going for roughly the half barrel point as my marker, but sort of for the first hole, you know. So if that's my first hole, I can fix a screw in, then I can see how it looks, you know, if it looks square to the part, and when it's in the boat, do they both look the same angle? If not, then I can adjust it. And again, my leg's not directly under there. There it goes, it's gone through the glass, just into the wood, and then out again. So very controlled. And I'm not blowing that because I don't want to airborne the dust. Usually first thing we all do, don't we? Drill a hole, blow it out. Well, that side maybe, but in here, I'll end up with dust everywhere and breathing it in. So I usually wear the mask all the time, but it's quite stuffy and quite hard to talk. You know, it's like listening to Darth Vader going on, isn't it? Right, so we're halfway on that one. But if I put that one halfway, that swings it round, makes this one down slightly, and it makes the hinge look like it's wonky. So I've got to go for what looks square. And so that both of them look like they're sitting at pretty much the same angle. Obviously now the camera angle, you know, will be looking out at each one. Sometimes it makes it distorted, so it's a bit hard to see on camera, but trust me, they look about the same each side. So now what we can do is we can try it in the hole, see how it sits there. I'm not, like I say, worried about measuring everything and it all being 100% perfectly measured and square and true and all the rest of it. If it sits in there and it looks visually acceptable, that's fine. You know, because ain't no one going to get in with a tape measure and start measuring my hinges to see if they're all the same distance apart and height and, you know, all the rest of it. Right, so they sit in there nicely and they look pretty square to me, so I'm quite happy that both my hinges are in the right place now. That one could go down and nats, but you've also got, there's a slight amount of swing just in the hinge itself, you know, obviously room to move. Now I'm quite happy with that, that looks pretty good. I don't want to move that anywhere. I'm quite happy there that that's sitting fine. So without moving it, left hand drilling, just watching that hinge, make sure it don't move. Get a mark on there. I have got some, a little bit there, something in there, so there's a little bit sticking out there. I've got to trim that off as well, so I'm going to get my cutter back out. Right, there we go, so that fits nicely now. So once again, legs clear underneath. You'll feel when that goes through the glass there, just into the wood, and then back out again. It's important when you're drilling through things like that. If you put it on a flat surface like that, and you drill right through into the wood below, what that does is it stops it punching out the backside, and you get that big hole, like an exit wound on a gunshot. You know, sometimes you'll drill something. You know, if you drill it off the edge, and it'll go bang as it gets nearly through, and it'll punch the drill through rather than drilling through, and you'll end up with a big split hole, load of mess on the back. That's not what you want. So keep it flat on a surface when you're drilling through anything like that for a hole. if you can, drill it on a block, and that stops all that. Do the same when we're drilling number plates to go on the cars. You know, you try drilling it freehand hanging off the end of something, you know, and you tend to just delaminate them. You know, you push the backing material off and stuff like that, or split and crack them. There we go. Right, hinges are on. There we go. That looks good to me. Beautiful. The only thing I've got to do now is I've got to readdress these hinge areas. Build that out at the bottom. It's built up too much at the top. I need it more at the bottom. When I stuck the glass on, it stuck to the face. It didn't curl down. I curled it round slightly, and it's pinged out straight and dried straight down, which means I've taken off the bit that I needed. So I need to remove a bit more on the front there and build up more underneath on this edge here. I don't want it right under here, because that will be a nightmare to sand. I want it on this front edge here, so I just need to build that up to bring it out, and then I can shave it flat. So building effectively a little ramp out from there to square that off. Excuse me, hiccups. I need to clean this edge up, trim that off. Forgot about that when I had the cutter out, and we're good to go. Right, so let's get this taken care of. I'm going to trim that down, and if I can, I think what we'll do is we'll clean this up a bit more. Close as I'm going to get with that. Now this nice gel coated locker's all smooth inside. That'll just hoover out, wipe out, you know, get rid of the dust quite easily. Very nice. Right. That's better. There's a little, the bit sticking out, we're holding the top of the locker out. Yeah, so I've got too much build up here. It's pretty much fluffed it really. It's glassed out the front and not underneath. I need to build up the glass to give the hinges something to sit on, not build it out to crack it out. Knock that back a bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to glass this up. It's going to take too long. So I've sanded off that glass. It wasn't right. It wasn't in the right place. And I've dug into this slightly so that I can get a layer of glass over these holes. Otherwise what's happening is, to seal these holes off with a bit of glass, now it's too thick to the rest of it, you know, so I'm bringing it out. I don't want to bring it out. I just want it to be flat and come down a bit further for the hinge to sit on. So I don't want to build that up, so I've ground into it a little bit so that when I put my layer of glass on there, the holes are covered and sealed for good, but the glass should be flat with the surface. You know, I'll have a layer of glass over there when I've smoothed it off. I just need to build up the bottom, so I need to get a bit of glass stuck underneath there on this edge, then sand that down and build up off of there. You know, if I need to readjust it and put a bit more on next time, that's fine, but I need to build up the bottom edge, not the face. So if I build a bit up on there and then just cover that over, that should be good, hopefully. Alright, that'll do. It's time to go home. Right, I think I'll have to just glass that next time. So that's the plan. I've taken that down so that will be sealed with a bit of glass, leaving it level rather than sticking out. I want it to be flush. Build up the bottom edge for the hinge to sit on, because the hinge comes down lower than the bend on there, and we should be good to go. But there we go. So I've cleaned it all up, tidied up what I needed to, taken off the straggly bits. I did have a feeling that that wouldn't be right when I've done it, and I was right, it just didn't work, so redo. That's part of the parcel. That's the thing about the fiberglass, is it's easy to redo. So I've tidied all that up anyway. The only other thing I had to do was just remove these little bits inside there. Job done. One more up there. Look. Where is it? There. Don't want any sharp edges in there. Job's a good one. So all I can do in there is de-wax that, and I can just dob a little bit of gel coating next time I'm using some, just to cover the bits that I've scratched through. But other than that, that's good. It's time to get out of here. Thank you for watching Life of Dave, and I'll catch you all next time when I'll get that all glassed in and yeah, finished up. You know me, I wasn't happy with that run in there, so I'm just going to remove that so we can't see it. And then what I'll do is I'll get some wet and dry paper, and we'll just bring that back up to a smooth finish, like, and shine, polish it up. Now it is a locker, it hasn't got to be perfect, but I want it as perfect as I can get it. Tiny little curtain there. And we just level that off. It. Beautiful. Taking the sag out, and because that's roughed it up, like I say, what I'll do is I'll polish that up with a bit of wet and dry, make it a bit smoother, lose all the lines out of it, and then we'll get a bit of polish in there and just buff it over to give it the shine back, and that'll be good. So that's a lot better. It's not perfect. I don't want to rub the gel coat down too much, but I didn't like the line that was there. Now I can't see it so much. That's much better. Right, I'm out of here. I'll be back and we'll get some more done next time. Thanks for watching Life of Dave. Take care and bye for now.